Hello, hello, happy Friday to everyone. It's the end of the week. I'm just getting my hair together. Good to have you all here. My name is Karen Marinez. I'm an emotional wellness coach. We're going to have a good discussion tonight. Juicy, juicy, talking about the wound of betrayal, the childhood wound. This is our fifth and final childhood wound. We have been on this subject since July, if I'm not mistaken. And we've covered all four. Now, today we're going to get into the fifth one. It's going to be part one. Next week, we'll do part two. And then we would have completed this whole journey of the childhood wounds. Okay, let me say hello in the chat over here on my computer. We have the lovely Marion Bailey. We have my dear Elvin, Cindy, Sally. It's nice to have everybody. Hope you're all doing good. Some of you, a lot of you are in the UCO class and enjoying that whole journey, right? So we're having a great time over there. It's a lot of fun. And we've learned that it's not just about decluttering our closets, but when we have an orderly home, a home that's in order, it affects our brain, our mental space, but it also brings up other emotions. And that's why I'm here as the coach to help you process those emotions. It's a really fun process, and we've been having a great time. Oh, Fabi Boo is here, and Dr. Jesso, hello, all my faithful warriors. This is exciting. So, what do we do here? For anyone who's visiting from the first time, I help you identify, process, and unravel your emotions. We have Andrea Taveras in the house. Hello, Holmes. Hey, good to have you. And we learn how to process our emotions because we're not taught that. We may be taught even by our parents how to physically take care of ourselves, spiritually take care of ourselves, what to do. My hands, I need some lotion, guys. But mentally and emotionally, we're rarely taught. Those who have been taught by their parents, good for you. They were way ahead of their time. It just wasn't a thing in the past. And even now, sometimes mental and emotional wellness people are like, they shy away from it because they think, oh, that means I'm not well. I'm crazy. No, it's just we need to learn how to process our emotions. But first thing is identifying them as well. I really appreciate you all being here. You have no idea. You learn from me, but I learn from you as well. Your feedback in the emotional wellness chat helps a lot. Your comments, even in private, a lot of you write me in private afterwards telling me what you liked, how it benefits you. That helps me to help you more because I can tap in and see what the needs of everybody the needs are. And this is also our time to get together, to enjoy, to relax with each other. If you have a glass, a cup of tea or your water, a little snack, this is a nice time for us to sit back and really dig in and take good care of ourselves. Okay? So, betrayal, the childhood wound. Let's talk about it. Not an easy subject. I found a quote. It said, "The saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. It comes from those you trust the most." Is my everyone hears me well? I imagine so. No one has complained. I'm gonna turn up the volume anyway, though. So, for a child to be betrayed at a tender age from a parent, the wound of betrayal is usually with the parent of the opposite sex. So, a little girl will be her daddy, a little boy will be mommy. To be betrayed by, I'm a female, so I'll say daddy. Most of us here are female. Um, how devastating that would be. And I want you to, while we're talking about this, think about yourself at a tender age, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Usually betrayal happens between, according to the studies, between the ages of 2 and 4. Can you imagine such a tender age? And most of us don't remember life until about 4 and up. Some have blocked even, a lot of their childhood. But how sad to be betrayed by a parent. Obviously, someone that suffers from the wound of betrayal would have a lot of issues with trust, right? So here's how it can happen in childhood. It could be abuse of all forms, physical, emotional, and other forms by a parent, right? That's the ultimate betrayal. Scapegoating, when a parent blames the child to make themselves look like the victim, or the parent lies or tells stories to make the child look bad. Wow. And can you imagine hearing my dad say something and it's a whole lie, and I'm looking at him like, that's not true. And he's lying on me. Wow. So the scapegoating. Hey, Roxy Ebony, good to have you. Um, Taking sides, when a parent sides with an abuser. That's deep. The child has been abused in some way, and it's probably someone that the father, in my case, I'm a girl, so a woman, that my dad knows, could be even a family member. And I go to him to tell him what happened, and he takes the side of the abuser. Wow. Or I go to my dad and say, his new wife, my stepmom did this to me, and he takes her side over mine. That's also such a betrayal. And he knows I'm telling him the truth. He may have even seen it, or he's heard other people say it, but he still takes her side. Wow. Leah, hey, good to have you. And then a casual betrayal, when a parent ignores a child's needs. Look at this example. I'll use my dad because, again, I'm female. He helps the neighbor's child with a lemonade stand, all in 120% with her, and he never helps me. I ask him for my homework, help me tie my shoes, teach me how to ride a bike, any little thing, help me. He's not available, ignores my needs. But I see that he's capable of doing it because he does it for other children on the outside, the neighbor, a niece, a cousin, whoever. That's called a casual betrayal. So obviously it hurts deep because my daddy betrays me. And what is a child? How does a child process that? It must be me. Is something wrong with me? But also, if daddy does that and I can't trust him, that causes fear, because now he's not here to protect me. He actually betrayed me. So I'm on my own. But also, daddy at that age is a representation of the world, the outside world, and definitely of the male gender. So that teaches little Karen, the world cannot be trusted. Always have your guard up. And especially with men, don't expect anything. They will always let you down. Isn't that something? Without my father saying anything, those are the conclusions a child would reach in their minds. So each childhood wound carries a mask, right? Because it's all about covering up. What's the mask of the person that suffers from the wound of betrayal? The controller. A lot of people, Miss Spirals, hey Stace, welcome. A lot of clients of mine say, or you'll just hear people say, I'm a control freak, right? Why? Well, pay close attention, because this may be one of your childhood wounds, one of the more profound ones. We all have a little bit of all five, but there are at least usually two that are like top of the list, and we see it and it's like, whoa. So this should be like looking in a mirror so you can see, is this me? Dr. Just So said, boom. All right. The mask is I'm going to control everything. Because if my daddy betrayed me, I can't trust anyone on the outside world. This world is a dangerous place. It's untrustworthy. Men are untrustworthy. Even everyone else is. So I need to be in control of everything so I don't get betrayed again. Now, obviously, we can't control other people. But the person with this wound that's very deep tries to control everything in their environment, but also other people. And that's where the issues and the problems arise. The greatest fear of the controller is disassociation and denial, being denied by others and people pulling away. But their greatest need is freedom, because if you don't trust, you're not free. You're always on the defensive. You're always looking for the ball to drop, somebody to do something to disappoint you, somebody that's going to lose your trust and betray you again. So you're closed up. But when we heal, process, and heal from this deep wound, we can have freedom and breathe. Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful. And also, as we've mentioned, it usually comes from the parent of the opposite sex. It doesn't mean that it can't be the same sex parent, but more than likely, it's the parent of the opposite sex. The child is disappointed because they've been betrayed by that parent. You've lost trust in that parent, and it could be unfulfilled promises. Um, Outcome, maybe there's a divorce, daddy never lived with you, but he on the phone, I'm gonna come get you next week. Okay. And he never comes. Or he says, I'm gonna come this time, and it's always like 5 hours later, or I'm gonna come on Saturday. You think it's this Saturday, but it's like 3 months from now on a Saturday, or he simply just never comes. Promises unfulfilled, lies, signs of weakness. You say they're irresponsible. The parent is irresponsible. My dad, I can't trust him. He's irresponsible. And when we repeatedly feel disappointed by that person, by that parent, then the child feels like a victim of lies because, all right, I'll give him another chance. Surely this time he's going to come through. And he doesn't, again and again and again. Hurtful betrayal. So the interesting thing is, here we are now as adults, and we can come in contact with this wound through some daily experience. It may be a traumatic thing that happens and someone disappoints us. It could be in a marriage, it could be in a friendship, it could be on the job, right? It could be a neighbor, anyone. Because, and then again, it proves to us, because if we're looking, if we see the world as an untrustworthy, unsafe place, our brain will look for all the clues to prove that that's true. So that's what we'll see. And sadly, we could even be attracted to people who will eventually betray us, because our subconscious is trying to heal that wound. It's the same scenario from childhood. It just keeps repeating, but different protagonists. The same movie, the same script, but different actors at different times in our life. And you say, why does this keep happening? Marsha Caridad. Hello, Marsha. Marcia, good to have you here. And you say, what's wrong with me? It's nothing wrong with you. It's just you have a wound that needs to be healed. And the subconscious looks for conflict so that we'll say, I need to heal this. But we don't know about it, which is why it's so good you're here, because we're learning, right? And so we just keep falling, and we may push that person to the side, no. And a year later, we fall into the same thing. It's fascinating. But that is because our subconscious is yelling out and screaming, fix this, heal this, See this? Let's do something about this, right? Does anybody have a question about that? Is this the first time anyone is hearing that about the subconscious looking for conflict so as to notify us to heal this wound? Let me know in the chat. And if you have any questions in regards to it, because it's really profound. And when we realize that, we can be more merciful and kind to and understanding and compassionate towards ourselves. Because the thing we keep saying is, why does this keep happening to me? I knew it. Should have known. Can't believe again. It happened to me again. Or sometimes it's with the same parent. Now I'm older, but I still, because I still have the hope that he'll change. And I keep going to a an apple tree looking for oranges when this parent has clearly shown he's not worthy of my trust. But just because he's not worthy of my trust doesn't mean that no one is worthy of my trust. Right now, as adults, we can process that and say, well, that was him. And I'm going to be aware of that because there are untrustworthy people in the world, but I'm going to trust that the majority are not like that I can trust. Marius says, first time hearing that. It's profound. And again, it helps us to look at our lives in a different way, not call ourselves really bad things. What's wrong with me? I don't even like to say the words because it's terrible to talk to ourselves like that. But we get so disappointed and upset with ourselves. But it's just our subconscious trying to talk to us, screaming loud. Help me, let's fix this, let's fix this. Sally says, the point about being attracted to the same version of the person that's betrayed me is my biggest fear. Of course. However, knowledge is power, right? So the more you know about, for instance, this wound or all the wounds, and you recognize what wound or wounds you carry, then you can move in the world from a better place. As you heal, you also can learn to identify and protect yourself from those people that are unworthy of your trust, because they do exist. And you adjust your expectations if that parent is still in your life, because the little girl inside always wants better, always dreams and fantasizes of that person changing. But daddy may never change, and we have to accept that, but also realize I'm an adult now and I can protect myself. So not that I'm gonna, maybe he's able to, I can handle him being in my life, but when he tells me something, I'll take it with a grain of salt. Okay, you know. And then if and when he does not come through, I'm not totally devastated and in the bed for a week with depression because he did it again, and angry and frustrated because I adjusted my expectations. If he's been like this most of my life, it's probable that he's still like that. Or if I meet someone else who's, ooh, I'm so attracted to him because he's so much like my dad, but then we say, but that's why I'm attracted. Like Leah said, trauma bonding. That's why I'm attracted, because there's something so similar in him to my daddy in the past. So I feel this attraction. But now that I have the knowledge that I have, I know, ooh, pump the brakes. All right, let's be very cautious here, right? Be very cautious. Proceed with caution. And we're in control and we're able to set boundaries. It's all about the boundaries, all about the boundaries. Anne-Marie, Grayson, and Joanna here from Springfield, Mass. We're happy to have you. Welcome to the party. So if you continue to have questions, just put them in the chat. All right. So things are different now, and we're in control because we're the adults. But being the adult now with this information, oh, takes it to a whole nother level. Isn't that exciting? And we take our power back. That's the beauty. We're not helpless victims. And I can't believe I fell for it again. Why do I believe him? What's wrong with? No, I got it now. I got it. And I'm going to work with this person and that person according to knowledge. And I'll protect myself. But I'm not going to shut the world out because I feel that everyone is untrustworthy, because that's not true. That is just not true. And then we damage ourselves and we limit ourselves. We don't allow other people in. We don't enjoy the freedom of having vitamin people in our lives, wonderful people to share life with. And that's a big disservice to ourselves. We don't want to do that at all. That's the other extreme. So one extreme is where we just keep falling into this, believing, you're right, and gullible and get disappointed every time. And the other extreme is shutting everybody out. But that's lonely, cold, sad, more fear. You can only depend on yourself. And with some people, that even affects their relationship with God, because they don't even trust in God. I can only trust in myself. So it's deep. Okay. And again, that control, I want to control everything. Again, greatest fear is of separation, of feeling disowned, because if daddy lied to me, daddy disowned me, daddy betrayed me, it's like he cut me off. He's supposed to be my greatest protector, right? And if he doesn't do that, I feel disowned. So, and I can't trust him. And so now that's my greatest fear as an adult, with this thing of feeling separated, feeling disowned. So there again, control. And it manifests itself through excessive anger, distrust, and control. That's the psychological defense with that betrayal wound. Excessive anger, distrust, and control. So when we find ourselves in that type of situation with someone that's going to betray us or has betrayed us, the anger and resentment comes on, and some people become the abusive controller because it's such anger, such discontent with what happened in the past, how this wound came about. So we really have to be careful, because what if okay, so we're trying to shut everybody out, but a piece of us is trying to let some people in, and we want to abuse and control them. How many people would stay by our side if we're like that? So that could be another thing. Why I don't have friends? I can never. No one ever hangs around. Could it be that you're too controlling and they just can't? No one likes to be controlled. We want to breathe. Everybody wants to exercise their right to free will, to live as they would like. So again, this is like, the purpose of this information is for you to look in the mirror and say, is this me? Have people complained about that with me, that I'm too controlling? Has my spouse mentioned it? Have my friends? Right? So we've been disvalued, devalued, mistreated as a child, and the bond has been broken. So the defense mechanism again is control. And we're not pleasant to be around. So here are some other characteristics of the betrayal wound. As we said, you find it difficult to trust others. You avoid meeting new people, and you're hypervigilant when you do. That sends off a radar as well, right? Because you say, I can't trust, I got to be careful, right? I keep fixing my hair. You live in constant fear of rejection. Did I get it right? Feelings of not being good enough often haunt you. So it affects our self-esteem, because again, if I was 3 and daddy lied on me, or I was 3 and daddy promised me he would come pick me up. Oh, Maggie, think my Maggie is here. Thanks. Good to have you. Thank you very much. It's this one hair that keeps, I guess, the fan. Anyway, but thank you. Daddy doesn't come through for me. He doesn't protect me. Then a child thinks something must be wrong with me. I'm not good enough because if I, why, how come he can show it to the neighbor's child and he can't do it for me? It must be me. I'm not good enough. And that can haunt us through our life. And again, that means I have very low self-esteem. And you see how that can put us in the trap of attracting the wrong people because I'll take whatever I can get, whatever attention. I don't deserve any attention anyway. I don't deserve a good person in my life anyway. So I take what I can get. And then the subconscious is saying, okay, get that one. And we get the wrong one and they mistreat us. And it's a vicious cycle. That's why knowledge is power. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad everybody's here. And for those who are going to see this later, that you recorded the replay, it's so important for us to know this so we can live better quality lives, happy, joyful. Okay. Um, Low self-esteem, frequently experience anxiety, nightmares, and betrayal flashbacks. Sleep escapes you. You see, there are many reasons for insomnia. It could be because of this wound, because you don't feel that you can even trust your environment. You never feel totally comfortable and safe. So your body can't completely let go and rest and get into that deep REM sleep. You lack confidence with underlying suspicions of everyone and everything. You don't have confidence in yourself, and you definitely don't have confidence in the outside world. Those people, no, because the example that I had as a child, he didn't come through. You display extreme reactions when you believe you've been done wrong. Ooh, that's up. Because that wound is open and it's like somebody just went in and just dug in. Could be even a violent, aggressive reaction. Say, what's wrong with her? It's deep, it runs deep. When you're put in a situation where you need to trust a person, company, or organization, you're very suspicious of their intent. Could be your job, could be a marriage mate, and you find yourself, can I trust this person? You wake up, what's he all about? Right? What's it saying? I have to get that on my shirt. Knowledge is power. So power. It is. It's once we know, Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. You walk through the world different and you're more confident in yourself because now you know what you're dealing with in regards to yourself. The more we know ourselves, the more we change ourselves, the better we handle situations in life. And individuals with the betrayal wound often feel as if the world is not as it seems. So if I wear a mask, I'm assuming everybody wears a mask, right? Because in my deepest part of me, I know that I know that I'm not my authentic self when I'm around others. So then I just assume that no one is authentic, right? And so there again, the mistrust, who are they really? And I'm gonna avoid being vulnerable because I don't want to be hurt again. So you see the walls that are up, and we lose out on joy and freedom and just being our authentic selves and having wonderful people in our lives. We welcome them with open arms when we can let these masks pull them down and throw them away. We want to be able to form healthy relationships in the future, right? If anyone has questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Okay, so some common effects of the betrayal trauma. There are some emotional reactions, intense feelings of anger, sadness, fear, confusion, and disbelief. Just like it's like, oh, daddy lied on me or he lied to me. Then the same thing when our boss says he's going to give us a raise and then we ask him about it and he says, I didn't say that. Or we get commendation in private from our boss, for example. And then when we're in the meeting with all the other coworkers, the boss comes down hard on me. It's like, Wait, what? Why did he tell me all that good stuff in private and now in public it's a betrayal? Or my husband, or my friend, right? And it just, or my neighbor, and it just keeps on. It's always appearing because it's um our wound deep needing to be healed. Marion says, I'm learning something every class. I'm so glad, Marion. That's the goal. I'm happy. We may also have negative beliefs about ourselves and others, such as, I'm unworthy. No one can be trusted, right? First of all, just because you were born and you're breathing, you are worthy. And especially the people that are in this group, in my emotional wellness chat on WhatsApp. If you're not on, get on. We'll put the link in the description, and also for those that are watching on the replay, up in the under the video and the show notes, it'll be there, the chat. But we're good people. We're vitamin people, and we are worthy of love. And you know whose love we're really worthy of? Our own. We have to love ourselves first, because if we look for it from the outside world, and imagine if we're surrounded by people that we can't trust, even if they said we're worthy, say, she's just saying that, right? Leah says, oh, cuz I'm breathing, I'm worthy. Yes, yes. Oh, because, yes. I think about it when I see little babies, newborns, 2 years old. Newborn babies, they're all crinkled up when they're born, right? Just think about it. Some of them are scaly. They don't have teeth. They have very little hair, or some have hair, but they demand. Babies know they are worthy of attention, of love, of their needs being satisfied, and they scream and holler and demand, I need my pamper change. I need to be fed. I want love. I want you to pick me up. Sometimes the mother is holding the baby, and what does she do? And she stands up, and then he's calm. I control this thing. Babies, and what have they done? What have they contributed to society? They have mom up every 2 hours, mom and dad. It's a whole thing. But a child that's fortunate enough to be born in a loving home becomes the center of attention. Oh, and they're visitors, and their pictures being sent out, and FaceTime, and let me just see them, especially the grandparents and the aunts and the uncles. But what has the baby done to deserve any of that? Nothing. They were just born, and they know, they are sure that they deserve love and attention, and their needs must be met. And if a baby is fortunate to be in a home with loving parents and siblings, all of those needs will be met. But then we get to an age where we experience these wounds from a parent, and all of a sudden we internalize it and we feel we don't deserve, we're not worthy of love, attention, having our needs met. And then we don't even do it for ourselves. Isn't that interesting? Next time you see babies, pay attention, look, think, ponder about it, think about it. How entitled they feel for love and affection. And Roxy and my niece, oh, change my pamper, yeah. And it's like, and what have you done for me? Right? They just take because they deserve to be cared for. They are worthy of love. And it's just, and the way they smell, and the way, and we want them to be comfortable, so we change it. And to see them on that bottle, and then the burp, and then they just fall asleep. Oh, and a baby, and I love and to have a baby fall asleep in my arms, to me, is like one of the best feelings in the world. So what about us? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. We have contributed to society. We've made some errors. but we contribute. We take care of other people. We help. We do this. We do that. Even more reason to know and be convinced that we are worthy. Of course we are. Ponder it, think about it, reflect on that. Maggie says, oh, go change it. Yeah, adorable. And they do deserve it, but so do we. So think about that the next time you see a baby. Think about, wow, what have they done to be so and to feel so entitled? They're born like that because they are entitled to love, but so am I, so are you, so are we. All right. Does that resonate with anyone? How do you feel about that? Can you let me know in the chat? How does that settle with you in your heart? Does it feel good? Like, does it make sense? Let me know in the chat that it makes sense. Okay. Back to this. Other ways that it can affect us is difficulty regulating our emotions. So controlling our emotions when we have this deep wound. Roxy, you love that concept. Yeah. And you're an auntie. You've seen it firsthand. um the controlling person, it just says made sense. Yeah. The controlling person. And the person with this wound of betrayal, when things don't go their way, when things get out of control as they may see it, basically people not behaving like we expect them to because we have these standards, these expectations, right? Then it can be dramatic mood swings, the anger, the sadness, the fear, the crying, the depression, the anxiety. It could go all over the place. Is that you? Have you experienced that? And even you may say, wow, that was a big reaction to a small thing. My husband left his shoes out and I went crazy on him. Or somebody messed with the things on my desk and I would let them have it. We have a problem regulating our emotions. And if we're babies, oh, Deborah, hey, glad you're here. Hey, fam, she said. And Anne Marie said, yes, it does make a lot of sense. Fabi Boo said, yep, that's me. Yeah. And as adults, we say, what is wrong? Oh, what's wrong? I can't believe I did that. But it's because of this wound. It's deep. We may also have physical symptoms, right? Insomnia, pain, stomach distress, when things get out of control. But when they're under control, it's like we feel we can control our circumstances, control ourselves, and we want to control the outside world. But the reality is we cannot. Look at that. We want to control others, but our moods swing up and down. We can't even control ourselves. How can we, right? Expect to control others, but we can learn to control ourselves once we process and heal. That's it. Once the wound is healed up and it's not a sitting open wound, we can move on. We can talk ourselves off the ledge. We can see it coming and say, yeah, wow. And we can laugh at it like, wow, a year ago, before I healed, this would have looked so different. But now I'm free. What a what a beautiful feeling to be free. There's nothing like it. It's worth the work. It's work, but it's worth it. So the controller can get angry over little things, uh, very demanding of themselves and others, very high expectations of themselves and others. For them, it's unimaginable not to complete their projects, right? And if it happens, somebody doesn't complete their project at the job, or they don't come through, or the husband doesn't do what he says, or whatever happened, right? Or the friend comes late, the person with this wound will interpret it as a lack of courage and tenacity. We judge other people harshly. Roxy said it's yeah. It's absolutely worth the work. That's what she said in the comment. Because that's why we're here, because we want to get better. We want to live better lives, better quality of lives. And imagine just that point alone. If I can adjust because I'm going to learn to adjust my expectations of myself and be more kind and compassionate with me. And when I do that, because I understand how hard it is for me to control me and how hard it is to change. And now I have a better understanding that I'm not like this because I want to be like this. I'm like this because of what happened to me. This is my wound. When I recognize that it's not something that's wrong with me, it's what happened to me. And I know what the wound is, and I've identified it, and now I'm going to do the work to heal from it. When I look at other people with strange behavior, or maybe they are betrayers, instead of getting so angry and irate and devastated and I can't believe it, we start to say, wow, I wonder what their wound is. Wonder what their emotional childhood wound is. And we can have more compassion. Not that we're now trying to analyze and figure people out. And for my friends, I don't do that because that's not my work. I just work on caring. If you come to me and you want to be coached, then I'll help you figure out what your childhood wound is. But when I'm with my friends, I don't analyze and do all of that because then I'd be working all the time. I want to be free and enjoy myself, right? But when we are around others and we see odd behavior, for lack of a better word, or different behavior, we say, wow, I get it. And I have the knowledge and I'm trying to help myself and it's hard. For them, they don't even know they have a child. They don't even know what the childhood wounds are. I know what all five of them are, right? Because knowledge is power. But the power allows us to be much more compassionate with ourselves and with others, much more understanding, much more balanced in our expectations, much more reasonable. You just thinking about it, can you see how much calmer your insides would be feeling like that? There's the freedom. And I'm not trying to figure this one out and all. No, Marcia is a member. She said, "Wow, needed to hear that today." I'm so glad you're here, Marcia. Obviously, you're bilingual. It's good to have you. And Dr. Just so says, "Vale la pena." Oh, she's broke it out in the Spanish. Yes, it's worth the work. It's definitely worth it. And the peace that comes with it. And we're more compassionate with others. And what does that do? It allows us to open our arms and let people in. Vitamin people, we're able to identify better who's the best person who can contribute to my life, not take from my life, not create disorder, but bring loveliness, even though the person may be very different from you. But I could tell they're a good person and they may make a mistake. I've made mistakes too, but it's okay. We can get through it. But my life is better with that person in it. And we can, instead of being like this and fearful and not trusting, we can open our arms. Oh, and let people in, let the good people in. And those people will continue to help us grow, just like in this community. We're all growing together. Miss Spiral says, and don't take their behavior personal. Exactly. It's not personal. And here's how we know. Because when you act a certain way, is it necessarily that you wanted to get at the person? It's you inside of you dealing with your stuff. And it's this, and sometimes things, and you even say, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did. And now we apologize and right, we call and text. Can I meet? I'm so sorry. Yet taking flowers. That person, again, when we're working on ourselves and we're focused on ourselves, we realize they don't know what they're doing. They mean well. They're a good person. It's just they have their whole thing tangled up too, just like I do. But we all working together. And if they don't know, maybe I'll offer it to them to help. But if they don't want to know, That's fine too. But I'm not going to hold it against them. I'm not going to hold them to this high expectation, demanding that they behave a certain way. No, you don't want anybody doing that to you. I know I don't. Let people be. And boy, does it take another weight off of our shoulders. We live, oh, we live so much better, so much more peaceful. Okay, at my best. Hey, Ari. I would love to look at others who have different behavior and not judge or distance myself from it. I can. I just need to hear it. Yeah. And as you continue to work on yourself, Ari, you're gonna see it happens organically, very naturally. And then you're like, wow, that would have really triggered me before, or that would have ticked me off. it it bothered me. I felt something, but I didn't have to react to it, or I did, and it is what it is. But I'm not thrown in the bed for a week because I'm just so devastated. The drama of it all. Amen to that. Leah says, let them be. Yes, we want to exercise our free will to be who we are. Let people exercise their free will. All that trying to control, that's exhausting. Aren't you exhausted? Trying to control other people? Because we can't. It's impossible. And even God doesn't do it. He lets us be. Now, there are consequences. We have different outcomes for when we do certain things. But we have free will. We're allowed to move and do as we please. Maggie says we learn to be understanding and see beyond what's in front of us. Exactly. Wow. We see a bigger picture. We say, wow, who knows what they've been through? And we give them a pass. We don't judge them so harshly. And we take better care of ourselves. My favorite, Andrea says, let people be. And not like, I'm just going to let people be with attitude. It's, I'm just going to let people be because we know that we're working on, and because all that energy that we spent trying to control others, even our parents, our children, now we direct all that time and attention to ourselves. We prioritize ourselves, our self-care, our well-being, and it takes work. And that also helps us to, we're not so focused on the outside because we're working on here. I'm right here. And we just let people be. Yeah. So we're able to be more tolerant. Okay. Controllers usually have a strong personality. They make it a point they want to get the last word in. Their ego takes up a lot of space. They want to be the first in everything, the best in everything, the number one, whatever the field is. I gotta, and to achieve it, anything goes, right? So they'll manipulate, they may allow themselves to lie, be hypocritical in order to crush that goal, to get it, to get that power, because it's all about control. So that's not nice, right? Controllers also like to meddle in other people's business. It's very interesting. You can laugh at it when you talk about it, right? But very quiet with their own. Oh, I don't share my stuff with nobody. I can't trust those people, but love to be in everybody else's business, right? Very private. I had know people, they've gone through a divorce and they don't want to tell anybody about it. A divorce? Some people have had a death of a family member they don't want to talk about. They don't want people to know. Right? There are no words for that. So we want to stop being cold and harsh, rigid with our point of view. We want to work at cultivating and maintaining good relationships. We want to be more tolerant of others, less controlling, um, allow people to just be who they are. Breathe, we become free, and we let other people be free and not be so judgmental. Not even so judgmental, not be judgmental. It's not loving. It doesn't feel good when people do it to us, and we definitely don't like it. Other people don't like it when we do it to them. We want to respect others, respect our commitments, be faithful in what we do, keep our word, But for instance, identify and understand, even in ourselves, that we are not perfect. And those that expect perfection of us, we really wouldn't want them in our tribe anyway. So the people that we have attracted, especially now that we're healing, we're attracting good vitamin people into our lives that make us feel good, they build us up, they make our lives better. We want to realize that they will understand, but we need to understand. If I make a commitment, I say, I'm going to be there at 2 o'clock sharp tomorrow, and I get out into my car and I realize I don't have enough gas to get to that 2 o'clock appointment, and I call my friend and say, hey, I just got to stop by the gas station to fill up. I'll be there about 2:15. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that I'm not a trustworthy person. Some people are so rigid about even that, because I look like I'm betraying someone. I look like I'm not responsible. It's an unforeseen occurrence. So it's good to be faithful in everything to the best of our ability. But when we can't, we don't have to be so demanding of ourselves. And we don't have to be so demanding of others either. If someone tells us they're going to be there to pick us up at 2 and they get there 2:15, they get there 2:15. If you can't, oh, Miss Bud, thanks for forgiving tardiness. And if you know that person is tardy, as Stacy says, and that's really one of your pet peeves, then you make other arrangements. Don't let that person affect your life. But being more understanding of others is so much better. Oh, okay. We we don't want to be punctual and picky and over demanding and pressuring others. No, we want to be understanding, reasonable, balanced, and compassionate and loving. Now, that's the person we want to be. That's the type of person we want in our tribe. And that's the type of person the tribe wants in us, so that we can be a part of their tribe, right? It's all good stuff. Next week, we're going to talk more about how to heal this need for compulsive control. The first thing is admitting that we have a problem. And another thing is observing ourselves acting and reacting. Take a look at what we're doing so that we can reduce anger and tension. We're going to talk more about that in part 2 next Friday. Because we're doing Uko, I'm doing Mondays with Uko. We have a live Zoom. It's been phenomenal. We are having a blast over there. And so we changed the live YouTube to Fridays. Once October begins, we'll be back to our lovely Mondays for YouTube. Okay, once Uko is finished. Any other questions? Please put them in the chat. We have a few more minutes. It was a pleasure having everyone here as always. It's such a good time to be together. It's a nice interchange. For those that are seeing this on the replay, enjoy it. If you have any questions, put them down in the chat. I'll be aware and I'll answer them. My Instagram is in the show notes below. My email address, if you have, oh, Elvin, yes, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please like the video. That helps to get it out to other people that are looking for this type of information. And share it with others. Even someone that wasn't able to be here, share the link so that they could see it at a later time. If you want to reach out to me, if you want personal one-on-one coaching, you can reach out to me at Karen M. Coach, M as in Michelle, coach at gmail.com. You can reach out to me on the chat. Alejandro, ¿puedes poner el enlace just in case someone who's here is not a part of the emotional wellness chat on WhatsApp? Please, there he goes. He's so good. Please join, because a lot of good stuff goes on over there. And also, now that we have just one more week with the emotional wounds, we'll be finished with all five, not 10, all five. We got to think of some new topics. I would like to talk about the ego. I would love to talk about finances, what goes on in our bank accounts and in our wallet has a lot less to do with how much we make and more of what's going on in here. So I'm going to send some polls in the chat soon so we can know what else we want to talk about on our YouTube lives. Um, Andreas says, I love that one for next week because the time we're living in is hard to control ourselves. Yes, people just push you all the buttons, right? Marion says, the definition of betrayal is deep. Joanne says, thank you, Karen, phenomenal information. So glad you all enjoy it. That's the purpose. Roxy says, thanks, coach. Excellent information. As always, Anne-Marie, great info. Y'all have Miss Spirals, good job. Thank you so much. It's you. You make it great. Cindy, thank you. I've learned so much. You guys inspire me. I learn from you. You make me want to just out of my abundance give, give, and give. And I love that. Thanks for being loyal subscribers, for keeping up. Cindy texted me earlier. I hope you don't mind me calling you out, Cindy. She's like, I finally caught up, and she showed me she's had me on the big screen, and she's in her living room about to watch it. Danielle says, "Bien hecho," and she's all caught up, and now she's ready for the betrayal one. I love that. It's like a series. Like I gotta get it, but I want to catch it. I love that. Oh, Cindy, that's fine, right? I mean, thank God that it's okay, right? And Marcia says, thank you, Marcia. Please come back. We love having you here. I see you're a special member. It's nice to have you. And Deborah says, thank you for being so giving. It's a pleasure. And I give out of my abundance because someone gave to me, and I'm happy to share it with you. Leah says, you inspire me, and seeing everyone's journey is so inspiring. You inspire me as well, darling. And yes, we're growing together. It just feels so good to be here. Naya, Naya is here. Hey, good to have you. You're very welcome. So glad you could join us. Very nice. That's a blast from the past. Wow, awesome. All right, guys, big hugs to you. Love on yourselves. Do something special for yourself this week, please. Find pleasure. Last Saturday, I was at a friend's house in upstate New York, and she had a trampoline. And I got on that trampoline with her 6-year-old son, and there was a little 5-year-old, 6 and 7-year-old. And two things they said, are you barefoot? And I said, yes. And then he said, are you crazy? And I said, yes. So he unzipped the thing, and I got in that trampoline and I jumped, and not for long, maybe like a minute and a half, because we talk about some good exercise, but I had such a good time. My little girl came out in me, and I had a blast. Let's enjoy life, live it to the fullest. Again, the more we let go of other people and we take our mask off, we can just be. We're not, what are they going to say? What are they thinking about me? They're going to judge me. If they do, who cares? Be you. Enjoy your life and add to it as often. Get on a swing at the park, swing, do something wonderful for yourself. Okay, a few more comments. Leah says trampolines are the best. Elvin's laughing because he was there videotaping, like, I can't believe my wife is doing this, but this is who she is. Thank you, Elvin, for accepting me as I am. And he's like, not that I have a choice, right? Well, Cindy said, woohoo, fab, yay, so much fun, Marion, sharing this subject with others. Please do share, like, and subscribe. Love you guys. See you soon. See you next Friday. Big hugs. Mwah. Bye. Hello. My name is Karen Marinez. I'm an emotional wellness coach. I help you learn how to identify, process, and untangle those emotions that we all deal with on a daily basis. Vimes Life now has a membership for the English-speaking audience. It's really good news. So let me tell you 5 benefits that you gain by joining the membership. The first one is you get videos made monthly exclusively for you, those who are part of the membership. Number 2, once a month you get a live Zoom with me so we can interact. I can teach you, comfort you, and answer your questions. It'll be really nice. Number 3, you get a separate chat exclusively for those within the membership. 4th benefit, you get special stickers when you interact in the chat on YouTube Live, when we're live on Mondays. Your name will have a little special sticker next to it to identify you as one of the members of the membership. And number 5, last but not least, you get special discounts on our courses. So you say, well, how do I sign up? Right below, right by the subscribe button, we hope you subscribe. Right by the subscribe button, there's a circle. It's white inside, black lettering, it says join. Press that. You'll see the first 3 options are for the Spanish audience with Spanish speaking coaches. Mine is the last one, and guess what it's called? Vimes Life Inner Circle. So come on into my inner circle so we can get to know each other better and I can help you and coach you. I'll see you soon. Bye now.